Have you ever wanted to know or ever heard of the phrase meta tags and ever wanted to know what it was all about and how it could be good for your business? Well, before I actually jump into the presentation, let me know, first of all, remember to share this video with your friends who might also have an interest in meta tags, what it's all about. And the next question I have for you then is, how well do you know SEO? Let me know in the comments as well. Okay, right. In the meantime, let's jump into the presentation. Okay, so why bother with meta tags? Well, meta tags is part of the whole SEO, search engine optimization. And a good reason to think about it or to even implement it in for your blog or for your business is because last year alone, my blog got over, or close to, should I say, 1 million impressions, my little blog. And that's for the web search. And then for the image search, I got over 500,000 impressions for my images. Let me ask you a question. Should that be a good reason why you should be interested in meta tags? I think it is. If not, well, maybe this is not your cup of tea, but you decide. All right, so let's dive into the rest of the presentation. So title tags. So one of the key elements of meta tags are the title tags, and there are 6 of them: H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. For the first one is the H1, and obviously, before I jump right into the presentation again, this presentation is based on a self-hosted WordPress.org blog. If you don't have that and you have something different, you can still apply some of the principles here, but the actual way it's done is going to be different because this is specifically for the WordPress.org website. H1, there's only one of them, surprisingly. There's only one of them, and it's the headline, the title, the headline, that thing at the very top of your blog that indicates that this is the title. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So I took a screenshot of the blog post that I wrote a few weeks back. This is what it looks like when someone visits your blog post. You can see at the very top the category this blog post falls into social media, and then the title is there, and then date and comments and my name. Then, because I do a podcast as well, you have access to the podcast. And this is what it looks like on the back end. So this is all H1 tag. And this is, I'm using here Gutenberg, and you can see, or Gutenberg, as you can see here, what it looks like on the back end. It doesn't really look that different. If I go back, you'd see, it doesn't look that different. It looks more or less the same, except obviously the one in the front end has my brand colors and this one doesn't. Then we've go into the subhead, the other headings. So like I said, there's only one H1, and there are several of the other ones, H2 through H6. Why bother with them? Well, it really helps with indexing your content so that the Google spiders can properly find, what the article is about, all the different places that you have all of these tags. And they also help with you getting into the Google snippets as well. So if you head over to your WordPress.org blog, you would see there's a little icon in the top left-hand corner with an eye in it. You click on that, you'll be able to see all the different tags in that particular document. So this document in question, this particular screenshot is taken from a document that is 7,000 words long. So it's a very big document or blog post. And you can see there's a series of the title, the H2s and several H3s because it's really, really big document. So I had to actually put in a table of contents on it because it's quite big. Then you've got what it looks like on the front end. That's the H2. And you can see the rest of the blog details are there. And then this is what it looks like on the back end. Okay. And then you have that was a visual editor. When I said the back end, this is just the code editor. So if you want to mess with the code, then you go into the code editor, which you can find once you go into Gutenberg. On the right-hand side, you click on those three little dots, and it gives you the ability to head into the code editor, and you see the H2s are there. Then we've got the H3 and H4. You can see here. Mine's are all color-coded because it's using my brand colors. So my H3s are in pink and my H4s are in red. This is what it looks like on the back end. And then this is the code for the H3 and H4. Right, next up we've got keywords as it relates to meta tags. So this is not about keyword research, but how you use keywords inside of your meta tags, or how does it recognize it. It should be included in your primary, secondary, and others. So you might have not necessarily the exact keyword, but you might have a synonym or something, a similar word that means the same thing. It should be sprinkled throughout the content, placed also in the SEO plugin. It should be well researched, included in the URL, in the title, content, H1, H2. The title and H1 are the same. I'll show you the others in a sec. So this is the Yoast SEO plugin, and you can see at the top there, my keyword is included in the focus keyword section, and then you have all the other areas where it's included. You have the key phrase in the subheading, the key phrase in title, the key phrase in the introduction. So the very first paragraph, you should have it in there. And you should have it appeared several times throughout the article. It should be at least only once. I mean, many people, like years ago, when I was in the blogging world, when I'm still am, they said that the density should be 0.1%. No, they said it's not as an important factor, but you just never know when these things change over time. So just sprinkle it throughout, and then your secondary, and then all the other keywords, synonyms, etc., throughout your document, or should I say your post. Key phrase in meta description, and then I've never used a key phrase before, so it's important not to have this two articles or two blog posts competing for the same keyword in your WordPress blog. Okay, so keywords in title and URL. So it's there in the title, social media metrics, and it's there in the URL. And we look at the meta description next. The meta description is that place where you can inform the spiders, the Google spiders or crawlers from the search or from all the other search engine, what your blog post is about. Because remember, they can't actually physically read the blog post and then make a conclusion. They have to check these things called tags to find out what it's about. So it tells you what it's about. It should contain a keyword in the meta description. It should have a call to action, and it needs to be enticing. So here's an example of mine for that same blog post. And you can see here I've included social media metrics in it. And there is my meta description. It's not a lot of space. So you need to be very clever and think about how you can say what it's about in the shortest amount, or the least amount of words or sentence, the smallest sentence possible. And it can't be too small either. It needs to be a certain length. I'm not going to give you a specific length here because that changes over the years. So have a look and see on the Google what's the optimal or perfect or etc. Meta description length based on the time that you are deciding to write your blog post. You see I've got it green as well. I'm using the Yoast SEO plugin to put that in there. And this is what it looks like in terms of the preview. So in a desktop, that is what it will look like. So you have the title, the H1. I've got the URL, and then I've got the meta description. And it's the same here. The URL is there, the title, and the meta description. Finally, we've got the image tags. And the image file name should have the keywords, the title, and the alt text. I'll show you what that looks like now. So in this example, the image is the Instagram story slide. And you can see here I've named the image accordingly, Instagram story slide, PNG. And the title I've named it exactly the same as well. The alt text now is one of those things that you need to be very careful with. So the alt text is there to help people who have a disability of some sort. So mostly visually, people are visually impaired. They cannot see your image. So they need to have a description of that image written out in the alt text. It also is handy when, for whatever reason, your image doesn't load. It could be that the person's broadband connection is slow, or there was a disconnection with the image getting corrupted on your WordPress site. And trust me, these things happen. So when someone goes onto your page and they see a little sort of a broken icon, image icon, and they read the alt text will tell them what image is supposed to be there. And also helps the spiders as well to index it. So if you remember in the very beginning of this presentation, I said I got close to 1 million impressions plus over 500,000 image searches on Google. It means that my images are bringing traffic to my website. That it contributes over 30% of the impressions. Images. Just think about that for a second. The images on your blog posts contributes to 30% of the impressions that you get on the Google search engines. So hence the reason why you should label your images appropriately to get the impressions. Because if you need the clicks, you need to get impressions first. Once you get impressions, then you can work out what you need to do to get the clicks through to your website. All right. So do you have any other search engine optimization questions? If yes, do leave a comment at the bottom of this video. Let me know what sort of questions you have. I'll be doing another video tomorrow. But search engine optimization can be a bit difficult to understand when you first get started. The secret is to take baby steps, and there are many resources available to help you get your head around this whole concept of search engine optimization. So that, dear folks, is the end of today's presentation. I hope you found it useful. What has been your experience with SEO? Do let me know in the comments below. And once I get those comments, I'll know what I should be doing to help you to get a better understanding of SEO in today's world. All right? Until tomorrow, bye for now.